As the Burkinabe government under Captain Ibrahim Traoré steps up its fight against terrorism financing and cracks down on illicit trafficking, factors that have long undermined efforts to combat terrorist groups, it made a significant move on May 23, 2025, by officially confiscating a large consignment of transport vehicles suspected to be headed for terrorist elements in Ivory Coast.
Welcome to AfriplusNews, your trusted source for in-depth analysis on African affairs. If you're new here, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you timely and critical updates that matter to our continent. We also encourage you to engage with this video by sharing your thoughts respectfully in the comment section below. Disclaimer: it's important to note that the information presented in this video is based on available reports and should be considered as part of an ongoing investigation. We aim to provide a balanced perspective and encourage viewers to consider multiple sources when forming opinions. Recent reports indicate that Burkina Faso Army has intercepted 3 trucks carrying approximately 900 motorcycles and 164 tricycles. These vehicles were allegedly intended for terrorist groups operating in the region. The seizure occurred near the border with Côte d'Ivoire, raising concerns about cross-border insurgency and the movement of illicit goods.
As the Burkinabe government under Captain Ibrahim Traoré steps up its fight against terrorism financing and cracks down on illicit trafficking, factors that have long undermined efforts to combat terrorist groups, it made a significant move on May 23, 2025, by officially confiscating a large consignment of transport vehicles suspected to be headed for terrorist elements in Ivory Coast. The Traoré administration, which has consistently accused Ivory Coast of serving as a rear base for terrorists destabilizing Burkina Faso, initially intercepted the consignment on April 7, 2025. The seizure took place along the Ouagadougou-Bobo-Dioulasso highway, as the convoy was transiting from Burkina Faso to the Ivorian town of Korogo, located approximately 120 kilometers from the Burkinabe border. The seized consignment consisted of 3 trailers loaded with 900 motorcycles and 164 tricycles, all manufactured by Apsonic Motors, a Chinese auto company headquartered in Guangzhou with an extensive footprint in West Africa, including Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Ghana, and Mali. After waiting for more than 6 weeks without anyone coming forward to claim ownership, the Burkinabe government declared the goods state property on May 23, 2025. Interior Security Minister Mohamedou Sano announced that the confiscated motorcycles and tricycles would be distributed among the country's security and defense forces, as well as the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP, to enhance ground operations against terrorist groups. Speaking to the press, Minister Sano explained, "We are here today because a cargo shipment of 900 Apsonic motorcycles and 164 tricycles was intercepted on the Ardennes. This seizure is a testament to our ongoing vigilance and determination in the fight against terrorism in our country. To this day, no individual or entity has come forward to claim ownership of the seized motorcycles or provide any justification for their intended destination. Given this silence, we are compelled to conclude that these motorcycles were meant for terrorist groups. As such, the government has decided to officially confiscate them and hand them over to the unit responsible for the interception. They will be allocated to our Defense and Security Forces, FDS, and the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDPs, for use in active combat zones. From this point forward, the fight against the financing of terrorism will enter a new phase, one marked by increased rigor and tangible action on the ground. We have observed that certain individuals, believing themselves to be clever, import large quantities of motorcycles, station themselves just a few kilometers from our borders, and then sell these vehicles to enemies of the nation. This practice will no longer be tolerated. The head of state has issued clear directives. Anyone found to be complicit in or directly involved with financing terrorism will be relentlessly pursued. The government is committed to identifying and dismantling all such networks. It is important to note that the estimated value of the seized shipment exceeds 1 billion CFA francs, including customs duties, a significant loss that will now be turned into a strategic asset in our fight for national security.
This development prompts us to ask, how are such large shipments able to move across borders undetected? What measures are in place to prevent the supply of resources to terrorist organizations? The intercepted vehicles are believed to have been destined for use by terrorist groups to destabilize the government of Captain Ibrahim Traoré and the broader Sahel region. The use of motorcycles and tricycles by insurgents is a known tactic, allowing for rapid movement and attacks in remote areas. This situation raises further questions. What strategies can be implemented to disrupt the logistics of terrorist groups? How can communities be protected from such threats? Public opinion on this is epic. There are allegations that external actors may be supporting these insurgent activities.
Guys, about 3 trucks were intercepted by Burkina Faso police when they were heading to Ivory Coast carrying 900 motorcycles, 164 tricycles alleged belong to terrorist groups. All these terrorist groups, they come in Ivory Coast. And ever since they intercepted these 3 trucks carrying these motorcycles, in April, nobody have approached Burkina Faso government claiming that these trucks belongs to them. You know, these terrorist groups, they used to move with motorcycles. Yes, in Sahel region, as we can see. Ivory Coast, again, this man again, I still don't understand the kind of leaders we have in Africa. I still don't understand. They are using our own to destroy our own here in Africa. And they are using Ivory Coast president, this Ouattara of a man. This man, they are using him.
While concrete evidence is lacking, the possibility of foreign involvement in supplying resources to terrorist groups cannot be dismissed outright. Historical precedents show that external support can significantly impact the dynamics of regional conflicts. This leads us to consider, what role do international actors play in the stability or instability of the Sahel region? How can transparency and accountability be ensured in international relations? The Sahel region, including Burkina Faso, has been experiencing increased terrorist activities, leading to significant loss of life and displacement of populations. The interception of these vehicles is a critical step in disrupting the operations of insurgent groups. Given this context, we must ask, what comprehensive strategies are needed to address the root causes of terrorism in the region?
We do not negotiate. Not a single centimeter of that territory will be negotiated. We won't give anything for a single penny from taxpayers. If the taxpayer gives us a penny, we prefer to buy weapons rather than negotiate. I think we've put that in people's heads to keep us in the war for a long time. It allows us to bounce back to something that we are forced to say, maybe we don't have the intention. I think that in 2020, there were negotiations to hold the elections. So, we journalists, I suppose you've been following along and you know what that feels like? Maybe there are some things you don't know, but for us as fighters, it really hurts. We were on a detachment in 2020. We received the instructions to stop everything that is kinetic operation. That means we no longer leave our bases. We remain static. Already it's a pain. It hurts the fighters, the soldiers to see that. They told us we were taunted. The terrorists taunted us, asking those who were in Kelbo at the time. They called the villagers to tell them, to show them the money in suitcases, to come and tell the military that the government can't fight them. They negotiate with them. They even gave them money. There you go. That's what they came to tell us. So to come and tell the military and the VDP to lay down their arms, people are alive. You can find out. And those who forced them to go out at that time, there were soldiers who were punished. Those who were in Berzanga, they are witnesses. The VDP members were attacked, and they had 3 casualties. The detachments went out to help them bring them back. They were attacked. They were not supported. And worse, they said, who told them to go out? Many people experienced this situation. It undermined their fighting spirit. So the soldiers were discouraged. They no longer knew what that blow was, and it persisted. So much so that people go out in detachments just to sit around. That's the first problem it caused. Secondly, the money that was given to the terrorists, because of that, people saw it. Even those who are in Djibouti can testify. The vehicles that were coming back and forth were able to continue towards Masumu with suitcases. There you go. Maybe in the Air Force, you will have proof. The money was taken out. They took that money. They got equipped. They settled in well. It was from that moment that we started to hear children's voices. At the station, because they paid a lot for transmission, they created a network. And once the network was well established and stabilized, they started to destroy all the pylons. We, our people, can no longer alert us. And them, since they have another communication system, they started to destroy the entire communication system that existed. The third negative thing, it cut the link between us and the population. Can you imagine? They tell you, it's interesting, the population. Can you imagine?
How can regional cooperation be strengthened to combat these threats? The interception of these vehicles by the Burkina Faso Army highlights the ongoing challenges faced in combating terrorism in the Sahel region. It underscores the need for vigilant security measures, regional cooperation, and international support to address the multifaceted threats posed by insurgent groups. We invite you to share your thoughts on this development. What steps do you believe are necessary to enhance security and stability in the region? Your insights are valuable to this discussion. Thank you for watching Afriplus News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on critical issues affecting our continent. Stay informed and engaged.